Hello and welcome to another World of Tanks replay, except this time it's not me, it is one of my subscribers, Avendil from Cell, and the reason I have his replay and not my own is that I have now, after the new year, I started up a new project, two new projects. One of them is a replay review center on the WaterLabs forums, which is where this replay is from. And the other project is a mentoring program, also on the WaterLabs forums. Now, what my plan with these two threads or projects is to offer some help to all of you guys, my subscribers and the guys over at the WaterLabs forums, and hopefully help them become better players. So this service is in two forms. Either I review replays that they send in, or you send in to me, where I point out what mistakes you make, what I would have done differently, or what you do well. And then you can ask me to mentor you directly in a platoon, where we play a few games together once in a while, where I try to point out different things you can improve, or things that I can also explain things you might not understand, like if you don't know exactly how the camo values work in the game, or if you don't know how to pen a given tank, or how to play a specific tank on a specific map, stuff like that, then that would be something I could help with in real time via the mentoring program. Now, both of these programs or projects are free, as in I do it because I want to, so you don't have to pay me anything. Of course, I would of course don't mind if you donate gold or tanks to me just because you like to, but I'm not forcing anyone to do it, because this is a step I've taken, this new idea here, so that I'm still interested in the game, because I'm getting close to having the tanks that I want. So therefore, this is my new thing to do. And in relation to the review center, I have asked Avendil to use his replay, because if there's a replay that has something in particular that's good to show, and as there will be in this replay, then I will use it on my channel here, and hopefully everyone can learn a bit from it. So without further ado, I will now continue on the actual review bit of this video, and not just the update on what my new plan is. So, before I actually start, if you have any reviews or replays you want me to review, or if you want to apply for a spot in my mentoring program, I'll leave two links down below in the description, with a link to the WaterLabs forums, where you have to make it create a user and then write a post in the two threads, where you can then ask for my help. So yeah, now in regards to this replay, Avendil, he is playing in his Object 140. It's an Abbey map. It's a Endgame obviously, but there's about a quarter of or a third of T10s, a quarter T9s, and then a whole bunch of T8s. So he asked me to look at his replay and see if he makes any mistakes. So that is what I'm doing. Now in a replay, the things I go through as well is I look at the ammo loadout, and in this case it's 30 APCR, 15 heat, and 5 HE. Exactly the same as I have in my 140, and he runs a standard consumable setup. Now it's always tricky to play Abbey, because it's quite restrictive. You either go west, middle or east, but he makes the right initial move to sit down here and take shots up at the guys moving up into the monastery, or at least that would be what I think that's the idea of what he's doing. Now here he's making a small mistake, and I'll come back to it because you can see now the result of his mistake. I'll pause. He sat here and was spotted for a long time. I mean, he sat there for well around 20-30 seconds, and in this position here, you are not safe from shots from the guys moving down here, which some heavy tanks would still be moving up here around this area, maybe even sitting. I don't know if maybe they don't have shots here, but at least in this direction, stuff can definitely shoot you, which the IS-4 did. I mean, the IS-4 bounced, so that was fine. And also he sat still for Artie to click at him. Luckily the Artie missed, but you can quite safely presume that Artie will be pre-aimed for the middle bit here. So therefore sitting still in this area here is a bit risky. Luckily he gets away with it, so it's not a more serious mistake. And now he gets spotted. He's a bit lucky again to bounce the pattern, but this time he pulls back immediately, which is a good thing. Before he could have stayed in the middle. I mean, it's not that he should have fallen back immediately, he should have just not sat almost perfectly still and just chilled. He should have been moving up to the rock you see here in front, that the one where the Centurion is about to move up to. He could have moved up here, then that leaves him more arty safe. And he can definitely not be shot from the side, but because he sat here, he was exposed. But now he's supporting the Centurion in his endeavors. The pattern has moved. The T-71 is now going for the middle, and they don't have anything watching the middle, so he decides to go up with him and help. And the T-44 and Centurion 1 joins in, so that's definitely a good push together. Now here's a bit of a, here we go, 3090, track him, let the 3090 shoot, and reload, and then shoot him again. That's how you want to deal with autoloaders, so that was very well handled. Here comes the problem with the middle when you are the south team. When moving around here where the Centurion is and the T-44 is, you are open for shots through the monastery, as you can see here. I'll just pause, as in they have shots through these gaps here, so if they have TD sitting here or here, they can shoot in. So it's always tricky to fight tanks here, but Emil does the right thing and tries to get down here where he's at least somewhat safe. The Centurion stays up, which I suppose is fair enough. And here Emil was a bit long to pull the shot, but I mean, smaller things. And now you can see the Centurion taking fire from the north. Avondale does the right thing and just chills for a bit, make sure he's unspotted, and then he pushes in. And now you can see, just while he's trying to squeeze his tank through here, you can see that his team controls the east road and the middle, but the enemy team controls the left road. So now this is where he makes one of the bigger mistakes in this game. Now he decides to go over and shoot at the west flank, as you can see, and he needs to shoot at the Yak Panzer E100 up here, the AMX here, the Yak Tiger here, Patton maybe. He needs to help his team in the north to deal damage, because sitting here and trading with an IS-4 and E5 is not helping him. I mean, well, he can be doing damage, but he is not. And his team, I mean, they are no danger, and those two guys are just chilling there. I mean, they have to move all the way down south or north if they are to do any damage, while his two TDs here are now slowly dying. He needed to be over here. He had shots at this 88, which I think he sees now, or he doesn't. He had shots at him, and he had shots at the Jaegeru earlier, and he had shots at the well, maybe not good shots on the AMX, but some shots on the AMX. He could have helped the 88. Oh, sorry, he could have helped the E3 with the 5th. Yeah, he could have helped the E3 with the M48 pattern. And now he decides to work this Yak Tiger. I mean, now he's helping in the north. which he should have been doing immediately. But yeah, it can not always be easy to see that, but you should always go for helping tanks that are in an immediate threat to your team rather than take the ones that will be a threat later. Also, another important thing to note here now, because it will be relevant later, his team has now cleared out from the 6th line and east, and Artie has not been spotted. So he knows now that Artie is not sitting at least from A7 and east. Like in this, he's not sitting in this area. He could be sitting here, but it's unlikely because the E4 would have spotted him now. So the Artie is sitting on the 1, 2, 3 line. And they died the E4. I mean, Avondale has a decent game here. It's not a bad game, but I'll spoil this, but he ends up losing this game, if I remember correctly. And that unfortunately came down to him not doing the damage in the right area. He should have been in the north to deal the damage. But he sees that he now can't do anything in the middle, so he moves down. There's an E5 spotted. And his E5 is now chilling there. So now I'll pause here. Okay, so the Lorraine has just killed the T-34 over here. He's moving up this way. He's sitting in the middle with an E5 against an enemy E5. He's close to full health. The enemy E5 was decent health as well, and his E5 is quite severely damaged. So now he has, I'll let it run just a bit, because now he has some options. He can sit here and pew pew against the enemy E5, which just showed up. He takes a shot at the cupola, but bounces and takes a hit in return. Not a good trade, but it happens. And he pins the E5 now. Okay, so now here I'll pause. So what can he do now? He's now heading this way. He knows Artie is sitting up here in A123. Sorry if you can hear those kids dying. I can assure you that they are fine. They're not being molested or anything. Anywho, back to the game. The Artie will be most likely sitting up here, so that means he'll have shots down here and in this open field. So if Avondale goes down into the open field, he will be open for Artie. And also it's worth noting, or it's worth assuming, that the IS-4 would drive down and help this E5. So driving over here, he'll be open for Artie. The IS-4 will be able to shoot in on him. But if he, on the other hand, drives this way, he can get... Actually, I think I should be able to do something clever. Hey, there we go. Haha. So if he moves over here, instead, you can see, if he drives this way around and then continues, he can sit either, well, here and here, but it's not the most ideal to shoot in on the E5, or he can move up here and sit, because then he has shots on the E5 when he pulls back, and he can double check if the IS-4 is here, because then if the IS-4 is not here, he can quickly fall back down and then start to work the E5 around here, while still being Artie safe, because we know Artie is sitting somewhere over here. So those are his options, and he, as you will see in a second, decides to go down here, which results in a nasty surprise. He's spotted, he goes in on the E5. Shoots the E5 once. Now the IS-4 is chilling up this way. The E5 shoots him, Artie shoots him. And he dies. So all of a sudden he lost all of his health, because Arta clicked him, the e5 clicked him, the IS4 bounced him, which was lucky enough. And I mean, especially the e5 and IS4 were platoon, so him coming up this way was not a surprise. So sadly, and now this e5 is alone against the full health IS4 and an e5. Now we just speed it up because it is not going to end well. So yeah, I wrote this in my replay review thread, so you can see my written description of this as well, if you want to. And just in case some of you are wondering, I always asked Avendil for the permission to use his replay as a showcase before actually doing this video, so he knows that this video is about to go up. And also there's the RT at A3, as I assumed. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this replay. I mean, if you don't expect a million user submitted replays for me to analyze, because it is a lot of work for me to it is a lot of extra work for me to make a video of them, analyze them. Usually I just look at them and give my comments about them and then call it quits at that, but making a video takes a slightly longer time. And if you have any interest in mentoring or replay review, just the written ones, as I said earlier, will leave a comment down below. Well, not a comment, sorry, I'll leave a link in the description for the threads on WaterLabs. And if you have any comments or questions to this video, you are more than welcome to post down below. And if you like this new idea I have started, then yeah, press like and tell me about it. I mean, I love to have praise. Give me more. But yeah, now that died, so game over. I will not post any post-game stats, because it's not the point of this replay. It's to show you different aspects of playing on Abbey. And as you can see, he ended up having a good game, 4k damage, just 4k, maybe not in the right spots, in the right areas, which again led to the defeat. Well, it's not his fault that they lost, but he could have maybe helped it with his target prioritization in doing the mid game. So yeah, I will now call it, and I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, hopefully I will see you on the battlefields or hear from you in my 2 threads. And if not, then yeah, hopefully I'll see you for my next video, which should be up, yeah, whenever I find something interesting to show. So yeah, again, I thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you for my next video. Bye bye.